Okay, fantastic. I think everything should be working on the live stream. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for those who have introduced yourself in the chat. Thank you for joining. I said already to some people, thank you for making the time in your day to be here and be here for this discussion and this interactive workshop. We are unbelievably excited to welcome you to our event. A special welcome to anyone who's new to our series. Here at Open Dialogues International Foundation, we aim to create a space for open communication and dialogue through these online webinars. We are founded on the values of dialogue, cooperation, sustainable development, democracy, and equality for all. So you should all find a space here in which you're welcome to share your thoughts, your experiences, and your ideas. Each month, we host a DialogueON event in which we create a space for conversation on important social and environmental issues. Past events in 2026 have included women in policy, youth participation, and eco-anxiety. The last one is particularly relevant for today's session. Alongside our DialogueON series, we also host our annual Open Dialogues on Climate Change project. I've already spoken to a few of you, and I think that is how you have interacted with ODIF in the past. Our fantastic country teams have worked across the world to create a tangible difference to the climate space. If you'd like to find out more about anything that we mentioned today, please email us at contact@opendialogues.org. We'll be sending some links in the chat in a second once for you all to contact us. I also wanted to mention, while I have the time and space, to a new exciting project coming up in 2026. We're thinking of organising more workshops like this and potentially some training options as well. It would be really great to hear your thoughts on how this kind of format you'd like to be, what sort of topics you'd like it to be on. I have just shared a link now in the chat. So if at any point, either during this meeting or afterwards, you get a chance to fill in that form, that would be unbelievably helpful. Thank you so much. Now, onto the event today. We should be running for around 2 hours through our fantastic expert on inner transition and sustainable development. We have Nina Klein here. Thank you so much for joining us. Nina is an expert on systemic sustainability, and she'll be guiding us through a series of interactive workshops. On that point, I do want to note this event is running slightly different to usual. Normally, we would have our speakers for the first half and then a dialogue session in the second half. The idea of this workshop, rather than a dialogue, is that it will be interactive throughout and you will have a chance to share your thoughts at various stages during the event. We will also be running breakout rooms. So if at any point you're in a breakout room or just before you go into one and you're not comfortable, please send us a message on the chat. You should be able to message me privately, but also if needed, you can send us an email and we can make sure that you're comfortable. Another note, everyone here has equal speaking power and equal contribution. If you do want to share your thoughts, we ask you to either ask a question or to limit it to a minute or two. That would really help us get a chance to address everyone's thoughts and everyone's ideas equally. Okay, after a very brief introduction, without further ado, I would love to hand over to Nina for the rest of the event. She will be guiding us through what is happening in the next 2 hours and how you will be getting involved. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Naomi, for this introduction. And I'm really excited to do this with you, with the Open Dialogues International Foundation. It's a first timer. And it happens because Zuzanna Borowska and we met at the Climate Pact Ambassador event in Brussels in March last year. And Zuzanna was so kind to be interested in the topic. And I think your enthusiasm sparked all of this. So happy to also do this now with you, Zuzanna, together. To check in for everyone, I'd ask you maybe if you want to just make a gesture that you associate with eco-anxiety. Like, what is that feeling for you? What is eco-anxiety for you? And I can make a gesture, and that's a check-in, as I call it. Naomi, this is a funny gesture. Okay, yeah. Who's got another gesture? A gesture for eco-anxiety. What does it make your body do? It shouldn't be funny, obviously. It's eco-anxiety, okay? It's a serious topic. Jean-Paul? Jean-Paul, it makes you think, right? Very good. Another gesture for a check-in. Peter Joseph, if you open your camera, then we can see your gesture if you want to contribute.
Okay, thank you.
Just a gesture, no words.
No.
Gesture.
Do you hear me?
Okay, it's a smile for eco-anxiety. That's a good one. Thank you. So this is what we call a check-in. I mean, it's a eco-village and transition network practice to check in, and it lets all of us come into this virtual space where we're going to talk about eco-anxiety, but eco-anxiety as an action-oriented emotion. So eco-anxiety leading us to action. And this is the overview of what we plan to do together. First of all, there is around 40 minutes. There is a microphone open. Thank you. We're going to have 40 minutes of an introduction, and I'm going to present you together with Zuzanna Borowska a few approaches to eco-anxiety. And I'm very aware, and I want to say this in the first place, that these approaches that I present are Western approaches. And I'm super interested in your feedback, because I'm sure in your country you have different ways of dealing with eco-anxiety. And this open dialogue is a bit about that, so that we get to know, okay, what can you do? What are others doing? And what makes sense? So at around 4 o'clock, we're going to do the practical bit of all of this. And that means that I will guide you through a practice of how to deal with eco-anxiety. And the practice is a mind-body connection. And Jean-Paul already did the mind part. He showed us eco-anxiety is about the mind. And eco-anxiety, dealing with eco-anxiety is also about the body. And we will learn why. So it's the mind and the body who have a play in this. And we'll do that in groups of 2. So from 4 o'clock to 4:30, you will do a kind of yoga practice together with me, or call it a body practice, body-mind practice. And you'll answer in small groups of 2 questions. And Zuzanna Borowska will introduce you to these questions. Afterwards, there is a conclusion where we get the chance to talk about our experiences throughout this workshop. So that's the agenda. And I'm Nina Klein. I'm based in Belgium, not in Brussels. I'm close to Brussels, but I'm in Liège in the countryside. And Zuzanna Borowska and I, we met, as I said, because we're both Climate Pact ambassadors. And you see the logo of the Climate Pact in the upper right corner here. This means that we promote and discuss the Climate Pact and the EU Green Deal with the communities that we are in touch with. So Climate Pact Ambassador is something which is charity oriented, so I don't earn any money with this. Zuzanna doesn't either. And we do it because we're convinced that the European Green Deal is a great thing, and it needs citizens to be with this political European Green Deal. Maybe just a show of hands, who knows the Green Deal in the audience? You can raise your hand or raise your hand as an icon. Okay, thank you. So basically, I founded several things. One of them is the Jardin Pont-Geleux, where I live, and it's about yoga, yoga therapy, and biodiversity, so nature. So I'm connecting nature and yoga therapy. And the title of the slide says "From Eco-Anxiety ... So yeah, well, this is a bit of a personal thing now. I I got to climate action because actually I was very anxious about the planet, and I'm sure many of you share this. That's probably why you're here. So in 2012, I learned about the planetary crisis. I mean, I knew about it before. I'm a journalist, so I did know about it, but I didn't know how bad it is. And then somebody told me how bad it is, and it was a permaculture design course lecturer. And I was kind of like, hey, why didn't anybody tell me this? I mean, why didn't anybody talk to me? Why is this not news everywhere? And I spent a year in Brussels rather melancholic, reading a lot, so overfeeding on information as many of us do. And through this period of sadness, I actually came to do what I do today. One of these climate action things I do is about nature. So it's the Nature Council here in my region, which aims to bring the Restore Nature law, which is an EU law for nature restoration, to local levels. And this is one of the examples how fear, anxiety, sadness, anger, and rage can turn into something very beautiful. And my question to Zuzanna Borowska now is, what is your story?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. First of all, hello once again, and I'm very happy to be here and to be actually co-facilitating, co-leading a little bit this workshop with Nina today. So, as you can see, well, yeah, that's me. I'm Susanna. You already know me a little bit, I guess, because we've been interacting in this open dialogues space. I've interacted with some of you more, some of you a little bit less. But sorry, I think someone has begun their microphone on. Yeah, thank you very much. Well, yeah, so I'm basically the founder and president of Open Dialogues International Foundation, which is the organization that is running our workshop today. But this is just like one part of the story, and you can see some things here about things that I'm involved in. But this is really all the things that I'm involved in right now. So just like Nina shared a little bit about her story, for me, it actually also started in a similar way. And I think there are probably many people here who will share this story, which is why we are actually here and why we are talking about this. So for me, it was, I believe, like 7 years ago or something like that in 2018. And it's actually interesting because as you can see here on this slide, I'm very much involved on the like international politics side of things here, and especially the UN climate negotiations and the COPs, the UNFCCC, which some of you might be familiar with that. So for me, how it actually started, it was a little bit of a coincidence, a little bit unexpected, because it was in 2018 when in my city at that time where I was studying, that was in Katowice, we had the UN Climate Summit COP24. And I was like 16 years old at that time, I believe. So I was in high school. And I didn't really know that much about climates or the crisis or all the dynamics, all the stuff. I knew a little bit that it was going on, but really not that much. But it happened in a way somehow that I ended up being there at the UN Climate Summit, the COP24. So I went there and I had completely no idea what is this about? What's going on? But I went there and I saw what was happening, and I heard that all the people discussing about the climate crisis. And that was also the year when the Fridays for Future movement became big, and we had Greta Thunberg speaking actually at COP24. And I saw, all the scientific reports, all the data, everything, and everyone speaking about how urgent it is and what the science is saying. And yeah, I just panicked at that time. I was like so overwhelmed with everything, especially given also the UN summit, which, you know, it was a big thing with a lot of people. And I really didn't know what to do. And I really went into a big, big phase of climate anxiety, I could say. So it's lasted for some time after that. It was quite intense. I was looking for different ways to get involved. I got involved in some climate strikes or like tried talking to people, but didn't really know how to go about this. So it was difficult. And again, it lasted for some time when I tried doing different things. And it wasn't very easy because I didn't know how to find my way around this. But I had this approach that I really need to try to do something because I'm this kind of person that, you know, I always prefer to do something rather than not to do anything. So this is what ultimately brought me into climate action and like acting, yeah, doing something in a more active way. And you can move to the next slide with this because that's how we go broadly from eco anxiety to being more eco hopeful. I called it eco hopeful here because the hope is really what I always try to advocate a lot when I speak about this, and I try to share with people how you can go from being anxious into making it also a bit of your power, because if you are anxious about climate, it means you're sensitive and you think about important things. So you can share that with people and you can channel that into some hope and into some action. And as you know, in my case, that's the Open Dialogues International Foundation. So I also really tie it closely to the, you know, the issues of intercultural dialogue and discussing all those things with you in an open way through events like today, also the project Open Dialogues on Climate Change, which some of you are actually coming from that project, which is very beautiful. And thank you so much for that. You can see some pictures here. And yeah, that's a little bit of a story from my side. I will not speak for too long, but I just wanted to share that with you to see that if we can connect on that a little bit and if we can share some experiences from the start. So yeah, thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you, Joanna. So that's the main message of this workshop today, is that climate action and eco-anxiety are actually linked. One aspect of eco-anxiety is that it's not only in your head or in your heart. So it's not only a mental thing, but it's also a physical and physiological thing. So many people get very impressed when they see this, because it means many people think that emotions and mental well-being is kind of not enough. And physical and physiological impacts of the climate and environmental crisis count more. So this slide is for those people, and you can actually see that air pollution, climate change, so hot weather, urban environment with pollution, for example, in indoor pollution, noise pollution, when it's very loud, chemical pollutants. And here in Belgium, we have a lot of chemical pollution. The country's drinking water is in many municipalities not drinkable anymore because there is PFAS, which is a forever chemical. So you can see pollution, climate change, environmental degradation have physical and physiological impacts on your health, not only on mental health, but also overall on your health and well-being. So what is eco-anxiety? And maybe we take this for you to write into the chat, what is it for you? What is eco-anxiety for you? Before we go into this slide. So close your eyes, don't look at this slide, I shouldn't have showed it, and write into the chat, what is eco-anxiety for you? if you want to. All about extreme fear. Yeah, thank you, Peter Joseph. Anyone else? Fear for the future and the climate. We don't know what will happen, so it's insecurity. Naomi, thank you. Feeling helpless. Thank you. The fact that I do many things, but I don't see enough results. Jean-Paul, thank you. This is an interesting contribution from someone who does already a lot. Yeah, so eco-anxiety and action are connected, but not always in the way that action soothes eco-anxiety. It's a real thing. It's a growing concern about the climate, leading to worry or fears. Yeah, sadness, anger, guilt, hopelessness. Eco-anxiety for me is feeling worried or scared about the earth. And Monem, you mentioned it's a new terminology related to the environment impact on human beings and the planet. So it's bigger than climate. Absolutely. Well, thank you for these inputs, but because actually the collective intelligence in this room has already named a lot of things about eco-anxiety. It's unease, tension, and fear and worry linked with feelings of uncertainty, unpredictability, and uncontrollability. So we think we're too small for the challenge ahead. What is interesting, what I find interesting about it, it's forward looking. With some emotions like sadness, they are backward looking, for example, because we have lost a loved one, but eco-anxiety is forward looking. So it's concerned with the future. It's concerned with something coming. And somebody in the chat mentioned that as well. It's an alarm-like feeling. It goes bling. So it's a very shrill feeling. And there are different forms, and it's interesting to know that there is existential anxiety, which has always existed. So philosophers write and talk about it. There is something which medical people call pathological anxiety, and this is not talking about eco-anxiety, but it's an anxiety disorder. So that exists as well. But what we're talking today about is practical anxiety. And I'm really focusing on the fact that this eco-anxiety is not a disease. So if you're anxious about the state of the planet, you're not sick. On the contrary, somebody, Jujana, mentioned sensitivity. It means that you have sensitivity and that you get messages and you take these messages from the world. So practical anxiety is the anxiety when you are in front of a challenge. And Jujana, what's the state of eco-anxiety in Europe right now? This is a slide and we can see it's from 2023. Maybe you can talk us through, and as you're from Poland, maybe you have something to say about Poland as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Well, so you can see it's like a little statistic, and it's based on the EU countries because, of course, this presentation it initially comes from an event done with the context of the European Climate Pact. So here you can see actually how many people. The question you can see it's. Okay, have you had any emotional or psychosocial problems, such as feeling depressed or feeling anxious? Okay, so this is a bit more general, I guess, right? Or is it just about eco-anxiety? I'm not sure, but you can still see that it's actually growing. And I think, well, here we can talk about the trends in Europe, but I think it's probably the case in the whole world. You can see here Poland, where I'm from, is actually quite high as well. But well, there it's growing, I think, in all the EU countries. But what we wanted to really talk about here is because we have many people from different countries joining us here today, right? So we thought that maybe we could ask you also about how it looks like outside of Europe. And also there is one more thing, because we had already an event, was it 2 months ago or 3 months ago? We had a dialogue on eco-anxiety already here within the Open Dialogues International Foundation. So it's a really nice thing that we are going from that event, which was, let's say, it was a dialogue, but we could say more of an introduction, more of a theoretical one. We are going here into a more practical workshop. And to give us a bit more context, I think maybe Naomi would like to share a little bit about that event that we had and kind of what we learned from there. And then we could talk also about how eco-anxiety looks like in the different countries around the world, not just in the EU. Yeah, Naomi?
Absolutely. Thank you, Susanna. Yeah, I think some of you might have even attended it. It was in September. Our speakers talked about what ETR anxiety was. They shared experiences of their own mental health challenges related to both the climate space and more generally. For me, one of the big things that came out of that event was the need for eco-anxiety to be recognized within a community, that it wasn't just an individual feeling, that you weren't just on your own in a corner. And that through community, we can both start to understand, but also start to collaborate and recognize and validate some of those feelings, as Nina said before, not as a problem, not as an issue, but as something that we all have in us, it just depends how much of in us there is. Some people have a small amount, some people have a big amount. And that this needs to be something that we need to talk about. And as Susanna said, this is one of the fantastic chances that we have to continue on a theme. In September, we saw it being talked about theoretically. Nina here is to help us talk about it practically. If anyone wants in the chat to share about their thoughts on eco-anxiety within their country, if they think their country is a country that has high levels of eco-anxiety, maybe among a particular group, maybe youth, maybe the type of people that you work with. And then, Nina, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Naomi. I would be very interested in people sharing about eco-anxiety in where you live. Maybe you have links to statistics. Maybe you just want to share in general. Because as I said, when I started this presentation and the workshop, and my content is from a Western perspective, from a European perspective, and the question here is really, is it different in other countries? Which it probably is. Josephine says many people experience it, especially younger generations. Thank you, Josephine. Absolutely, that's also the case in Europe. The amount of younger people who have eco-anxiety is much higher than the general average. Yeah. Anyone else on this one? Like, do you talk in your communities about this topic? Is it a topic on the political agenda? Which would be great. It is in Belgium, actually. So.
Yeah, in Poland, maybe not so much, but we hope it's increasingly important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So, we've just learned that lots of people experience eco-anxiety. And, you know, we also learned it's not a disease. So yes, psychologists and psychotherapists can help if they know about the planetary crisis and that it can induce eco-anxiety. Absolutely. And here we're not talking about therapy, but we're first talking about the ways that we as mammals, so and human beings, we're animals. We like to forget that. But basically, we are like every animal that is faced with a threat. And I don't know if you have seen a mouse, what she does when she meets a cat, like the mouse. And it's interesting to see that because the mouse will try to first flee because she knows, hey, this cat is just much bigger than me. So it doesn't make sense to fight. So flight is the first reaction of the mouse. There are mice who try to fight, so they go into a bit of a fight mode when they're cornered. The cat, mostly in my region in Belgium, the cats are very well fed already by their owners, so they don't really need to eat the mouse. So they just play with it a little, which is horrible for the mouse, but great for the cat. And the mouse, what does she do in that incident? She freezes. So she plays dead. And after a certain time of having played dead, the cat, and that's interesting to see, stops playing because it's no fun playing with someone who doesn't, do anything and just plays dead. And the cat walks away. What happens after this is that the mouse literally defreezes. So she gets convulsions, so shakes, and that's totally physiological. It's a shaking. And then she might do a few fight movements, and then she runs away. So basically, you have the same thing in human beings. In human beings, you have flight, fight, and freeze. And freeze is the state when you can't do anything anymore, and where it gets into a state where you are feeling frozen. Flight and fight, we all know. And then there is the good news, the cooperation, which is connection. So the green bit of this exists as well. And even Darwin talked about connection, cooperation, although it's forgotten now. So connection and cooperation is where our nervous system is at ease and we're doing something about the challenge. Flight and fight, we're also doing something about the challenge. Freeze, we're not doing anything. This comes from a book by Pablo Servigna and Nathan Obadia, and I recommend this book to you if you are a French speaker, because unfortunately the book is not yet translated into English. It's one of my favorite books about eco-anxiety, highly recommended, and also the illustration comes from there. So what do we do when we try to deal with eco-anxiety is widening the window of tolerance so that we don't get into the freeze bit, but we stay in fight, flight, and connection and cooperation. Why? Because freeze is really something where it's hard to get out and it doesn't help. It doesn't help you, nor does it help to solve the problem. So the message is avoid the freeze part. And I think you know it already because we've talked about it now quite a bit. Practical anxiety. Would you say it's a negative emotion? Or would you say it's just a healthy emotion and it's better to be eco-anxious than not to be eco-anxious? That's a question you can also answer in the chat if you want to. You have the answer on the slide, obviously, and science tells us feeling eco-anxious alerts one to the environmental challenges that we face and prompts cognitive. That's what Jean-Paul did. So the mind understands what's happening, engagement, and can help sustain efforts for action. So there are many people who actually say that people are not anxious enough. Because you might know many people who are not eco-anxious, but who are actually in places where it would probably be better they were eco-anxious and they would do something. So eco-anxiety for me personally is a normal, healthy reaction. And as Zsuzsanna mentioned, it happens to people who are sensitive, who have their senses open. So it's actually a good thing to happen. And the reaction to eco-anxiety doesn't need to be individual. Like before we saw this little mouse and dealing with it all on her own with a big challenge, but actually eco-anxiety, and Naomi, you said that is rather something which needs to be dealt with in communities. And I'm happy to have Jean-Paul Grange here because he is from the Transition Network. So he knows about this in France. And the Transition Network has come to deal with this. It's a network of constructive initiatives. And maybe Jean-Paul, would you like to just say a bit about the Transition Network so it's not just me speaking?
Yes.
Yes.
So I can do a lot about all what we do, but basically it's local initiative. It's a movement that is very local. We have some representative like me for the region around Paris and what's around. But in fact, it's really local. And so what we do is we do what we say. I don't know if I explain what we do or what you want me to say about this.
Broadly, what are the transition initiatives, and maybe also if you have something to do with inner transition or eco-anxiety?
Okay. So basically, in our transition initiative, maybe not in all of them, but at least in our here in Sucy-en-Brie, 15 kilometers from Paris, we have outer transition, which is what do we do with the hand? For example, I launch a repair cafe, workshop for bicycles, cooking workshop also, and so things like that. And also we have inner transition, which is more like meditation or NVC groups. And this is more inner transition. And inner transition, I mean, what we say in Transition Network is we need to use our head, our hands, and our heart in order to do things. And that's why there is like with the hand, it's the outer transition. It's what we do really, like workshops, things like that. And but with the heart, and so we do also we take care of ourselves, and this is related to eco-anxiety solutions, like inner transition. Yes, we have also inner transition.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Jean-Paul. So in the transition, Jean-Paul said it already, it's the hands, the head and the heart. That's what the Transition Network says, that we can act with all three. And inner transition is basically, I call it the inner landscape gardening. So you have outer action, but it's probably obvious to all of us that where the outer action comes from, so whatever you do comes from a place, and that's the inner place, or I call it my inner garden. So inner transition for me is taking care of yourself, of your inner garden, and that's the place where all action comes from. And the Transition Network has actually put a lot of focus on this, and you will get the presentation afterwards. And this has a lot of tools, this website for inner transition. Joanna Macy is a bit of the person that a lot of these practices rely on. Joanna Macy is a deep ecologist, and I have put two of her books here. And also the work that reconnects is a series of practices which she has coined and which she has given to the world, because all of this is public and you can access this without cost. So the work that reconnects network, and I recommend to have a look at that. One of the practices of the work that reconnects is active listening, and we are going to do that in our practical part of today. There is a microphone open. Yep. So active listening sounds easy, right? But to really listen is something which people don't experience very often. And they don't experience very often that they are being listened to. And active listening tries to make that a practice. And we will do this practice later, and Zsuzsanna will guide you a bit in that. Basically, active listening is that you listen with your heart and also with your mind. So both are connected. You don't jump in and give, you know, advice how to solve this situation or say what you think about it. You listen to the person, and the person has 1 to 2 minutes to tell you what she thinks, and she's free in whatever she wants to tell you. It doesn't mean, though, that you sit there and you don't show any movement of your face and of your body, because that has an effect which is rather chilling, that people think they're not listened to. So active listening is also about showing the other person that you understand, that you're with her. So if there is something emotional, you can show that you're touched. Or if you don't understand something, you ask, I don't understand, did you mean this and that? Another practice is also that you rephrase what the other person has said, and that way you can show that you have understood. So active listening, and you will experience it, is really an opportunity to get heard to, but also to speak and be listened to. And this connection to other persons does something which is amazing, because eco-anxiety can be co-regulated in a group with another person. That sounds rather medical. What it means that your nervous system connects with the other person's nervous system and regulates. So if you're anxious and if you do this active listening practice, you will have a result of a more relaxed nervous system afterwards. And the work that reconnects also has another practice which we'll do in a bit, and that is the spiral question. So basically it means that we engage in a conversation with this active listening practice, and we inquire a bit about the other person. We ask, you know, what are you grateful for? Because gratefulness or gratitude is the basis of all action. We ask then, what is the pain that you feel? So what is it that you're anxious about? And that obviously is the nitty-gritty question, right? What is it you're anxious about? How does it express itself? Because seeing what is and honoring this reality is important. What many people don't do is look at what is. What am I feeling? What is my body telling me? What are my emotions? It's very important not to skip over this and get into action, or because you have to see what is in order to get into action. The next step is seeing with new eyes, so hope. So where are the pockets of hope for you right now? And the fourth step is, what is the action that you want to take? So that's the work that reconnects. And a bit I mixed into this, a bit like a DJ, is body and mind practice. And it comes from yoga, because I'm a yoga teacher, but you can do anything which connects the mind and movement and the breath. So we'll do a bit of bodily practice, followed by an exchange on these questions in small breakout rooms. So you will be guided in the body practices, and you will be guided in the exchanges. Why did I think that it would be good to connect mind-body practice to the existing practices? because there are many people who prefer to be on their own with their nervous system. Let's call it like that. Maybe the majority of people, I don't know. But it means that you need to connect to yourself before you connect to someone else. And it's a bit like tending to your own nervous system, so self-regulation before you go into an exchange with somebody else. The great thing about yoga or other mind-body practices, and that's Tai Chi, Qigong, mindfulness, so there are lots of these, is that you connect the movement with breathing. And that sets automatically a mental focus. So you're automatically with yourself and in the present. This is now the theoretical part over. Yoo-hoo! Which means that Naomi could set up breakout rooms of 2, and you're going to be, together with another person. Naomi, you will do this automatically, so we don't choose who your partner will be for this short exchange. And the question for this short exchange of 5 minutes in an active listening mode, so each speaker has 2 minutes about to speak. The questions are, how are you right now after having taken all of this in? And how is it what you have heard relevant for your personal situation? Before we do discuss this exchange in the plenary, we want to do it in these small breakout rooms. So after 5 minutes, Naomi will get you back to the plenary with magical Zoom powers. And
Like
thank
that,
you.
Nina.
Thank you. So you're going to be assigned to someone, and then please have an exchange about how are you right now and how is what you have heard relevant for you and your personal situation. Each person has 2 minutes in an active listening mode. Is this clear, or do you have questions about that?
If anyone does have any questions, then you should be able to message either myself, Nina, or Susanna. And if you can't message, then we will also be on our email at contact@open-dialogues.org. So if you do have a problem, please let us know. I think everything looks okay, Nina.
I think so too. Yeah, I've checked
Okay,
the chat.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a go at creating the breakout rooms. This is our first time doing something like this on a DialogueON, so hopefully it works. We will see. Okay, fantastic. Everyone should be assigned one. Let me check. Okay, fantastic. You might get a notification to join the breakout rooms. If you can click on it, that would be fantastic.
Naomi, in fact, I'm in room 1 for my face, but for the audio, I would like to have the other Jean-Paul, which is on my cellular phone, to join the room 1 also.
Ah, it makes sense. Let me move you. Room 1.
Yeah.
There you are.
Okay, I persist.
I think that should be correct. If anyone is unable to join the breakout room and they're on the plenary right now, can you let me know? I think everything is okay in the group breakout rooms, just to inform you, Nina and Susanna. Susanna, do you know if there's a way to move people to them?
I was trying to figure that out, but I think once you send like people the invitation, they have to move, like they have to join the room themselves.
I thought the same.
Also, I don't know why we have 4 people in one of the rooms, but that's okay.
I don't know either. And moving some people around so that no one's on their own. For me, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's true. If we have, especially for this part, I think if we have even more people than 2, it's also okay. For the later one, it will be important.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Nina, I'm going to bring everyone back. Is that all right with you?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Fantastic. They have 30 seconds to finish their conversations. Okay. I think everyone should be joining now. Okay, yes, Nina, you should be good to continue.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Naomi, and thanks to everyone for this short breakout session experience. Zsuzsanna, would you like to take over and see and hear and find out what happened in the breakout rooms?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's find out what happened in the breakout rooms. I hope it worked for everyone. There was a little bit of some issues in the beginning, but I hope you guys managed to talk to each other a little bit. And we would just to have a little short exchange here with everyone if anyone wants to share about what did you discuss together. Of course, all the things that you would like to share with us, but we are really curious about how do you feel right now and what are your reflections on what you have learned so far. We are actually only going to get into the most important part, the most practical part in a moment, but to set us up a bit for that, we can now go ahead and share. And I see the first person raising your hand. So hi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Zohaib.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, in the breakout room, so before, starting this session, I was more like we're going to do some workshops or like we're going to learn more about the SDGs. As if would like to share my story a little bit, that how I got into this SDGs and everything. So, I'm a school teacher. Yeah, basically, I'm a middle school and a primary school teacher. So last year we actually started with like a small, school project. We actually started with like a hunger drive, and we started like doing the certifications on our school level. So that was the first time I got introduced to the SDGs. And after that, I started realizing that it's because of us that the environment is getting destroyed. We're facing this climate change, and like how we're going for the uncertain weather patterns. Like summers are too prolonged. Even if the winters are coming, they're really harsh, like unbearable winters are we are facing right now. So we actually started working on these things, and we involved the community. We started working on different SDGs, like SDG 1, SDG 2. Then we started working on the our well-being. So we started these things on our school level. So right now we're working on 7 SDGs. So we have picked first 7 SDGs, and we're working on
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for that. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your story. And I think it's very important what you do, especially as you mentioned about schools, right? So we mentioned how important it is for young people, this topic of eco-anxiety and how they worry about their future. So I think this is very relevant what you shared. And thank you very much for sharing. Okay, I have a few more people. That's quite exciting. Okay, so let's go to Alan then. Go ahead.
All right. Hi everyone, and thank you
Hi.
for the meeting today. I was in a group with Archie Williams from Cameroon, and first question he told me, "How are you?" He's happy that he finished, that God gave him grace to complete the year when he's alive. And the second question was, how is what you have heard during the meeting relevant for your personal situation? And he was like, he's a social worker. He mastered in social work from his university. And in Cameroon, he's handling and tackling climate change within the communities. So what he has learned today, he's going to put it into practice, basically into the women, taking relief from mental health from them, and because that is the other angle of anxiety. And he promised to focus on mental health because that is the major cause of eco-anxiety. They said during too much drought season, he tells me that women from Cameroon move a long distance to fetch water. So what causes anxiety to them and their children? And when it is too much dry, the access to food, food security to the children, it is also scarce, which causes nutrition to be low, and that's anxiety in children, because when a baby is hungry for over 4-5 hours, they'll start crying. It will bring anxiety to the parents because it irritates to hear your baby cry. And then also the child, it brings mental health and the anxiety to them. So that is what we shared. Maybe he will share my part.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I really loved both how you mentioned the very practical dimension of that. I think that the lived experiences, this is very helpful and very very insightful to hear that from you. And I also really loved in the beginning, you mentioned that you started for kind of being grateful that you are alive. And I think this will be a very good start actually also for the exercise that we will do in a moment. So thank you very much for that. Okay, I guess, Naomi, can we have like 2 more people because you are keeping the time, I guess?
Yes, it works. And if anyone doesn't get a chance to contribute, please add to the chat as well.
Okay, so let's have Stanley right now. Yes, you are next.
Yes,
Stanley,
hello. The connections were bad.
okay, or yeah, we can. I'm not sure who's speaking right now.
I
Sorry.
am Sarah.
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Okay, yes, you can go ahead. So I think
Yes.
Stanley was first, but he's not really speaking. So yeah, you can go. You can go next.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I want to say that I was in a break room with a colleague, but the connection was very bad, or I do not know what the point was, what the reason was. So no one has spoken to me, so I've spoken alone. But I can repeat here so that the audience knows what I've spoken
Okay.
about. It was not
Thank you.
it was not a funny topic for me because last year my father died. And I've spoken about his paternal, and I've spoken about that I was not very well at this time. This was in April, and I've spoken about the psychological point of a funeral. If a relative is dying, and parents or siblings or somebody who is very next to you, and in this case, I must say my father has raised me up, so he was very important for me and my development, and so it was a very bad occasion at all. Everybody who is born has to die one day. So, and if you have elder parents or other family members, you have to be strong. And this, it was about the psychological effect and about that peaceful, mindful. There are a lot of items who help for the mental health condition. To get and to make it better. About those items I've spoken, yoga, and there are a lot of things nowadays you can use to make yourself better, for your soul, for your body, for your psychology. This is it.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for sharing your personal experience with us. We really appreciate that. And thank you for still remaining hopeful. I think this is very important. Okay, so Stanley, yeah, you are here with us right now, so you can share. You can be maybe the last person to share for now. There will be more occasions, but we need to still do some other things. So yeah, Stanley, now over to you. Can everyone hear? Because I think I don't hear.
I don't hear either. No, sorry.
Maybe you could try sharing in the chat and I could go to the next person. If we can go to Akoya then. Akoya Hussein.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to see you in this great meeting. I am Hassan Hussein from Sudan. I'm so very grateful to be with you in this great dialogue to discussing about the important issues. So really, yes, we are in Sudan here also. We need this issue very important for us. As you know, Sudan now need like these activities for everything. Really, we are very happy for that. I don't have a more for.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for sharing, and I think that was a very good start to the more interactive part. So as we are running a little bit over time, I guess, let's now move on, okay, to our next part. So I guess, Nina, if you want to take over.
Yeah, thank you so much for the sharing. And I can see there are more hands up, but please integrate what you want to say into the chat. And we will have another exchange round after our practical part, which I'm happy starts right now. So what we're going to do in the next 40 minutes is a practical part where you are going to do work or cooperate with a partner. And Naomi will put you in a breakout room again, and you will stay with this person for 4 breakout rooms. Why 4 breakout rooms? Because you will discuss and exchange about 4 questions from the work that reconnects. Remember, there was gratitude. What are you grateful for? What are you afraid of? Where is hope for you? And what are you planning to do about it? And Zuzanna Borowska will guide you through these questions, no worries. And we'll combine this exchange, which is more here, like a mind and heart exchange, with body movement combined with breathing. And that you can call that yoga, you can call it whatever. I'll guide you through it. So we'll do a bit of body movement combined with breathing, followed by an exchange with one question. The work that reconnects, just a little recap of what you heard before. The breakout rooms will be so that you have 4 minutes overall, which means half of the time, 2 minutes for each person. You're going to be together in the room with another person, 2 people per room. What you do first is you say, who's going to go first, obviously. And do the active listening thing. I think you remember what active listening is. You give the other person the time and the space she or he needs, and you ask clarifying questions, but you don't come in with your own things. You leave the space for the other persons. After 1 or 2 minutes are over, you change the roles. So this is the breakout rooms. You can do the seating or standing or however you want to do it. And here we're going to start. And first, I'm going to do a little mind-body connection. And I ask you now all, first of all, because we've been sitting or standing for a long time, so stretch, because your body knows best what she needs right now. So you just stretch in whatever direction you want to go. You can also stand up to do that. And I'm see if I can get my camera to follow me. I can't. Well, that's it. And the first exercise is standing upright. So you look for a place where you can stand with both of your feet on the ground, and you can switch off your camera if you don't want to be seen and recorded on Facebook. That's totally understandable. And you find a space where you put your 2 feet on the ground and you experience, where do your feet touch the ground. So you stand up and you find a comfortable position, which means make sure that you release all tension in your muscles that you don't need right now with your next exhalation. So you exhale and you release the tension that you don't need right now from your shoulders, from your legs into the ground that holds you. And you put your chin a little closer to your chest so your neck is upright. Your shoulders are free. And with every exhale, you release the tension that you don't need right now into the ground. You stand in a comfortable position. And with your next inhale, you raise your arms. It's a very simple practice. Raise your arms and then stretch both of your hands. Inhale. And with exhale, you come back to the position where you started. Your hands, your arms are close to your body, hanging. Inhale, you raise your arms. You stretch on inhale. Experience the openness in your chest region. And on exhale, you come back into the position where you started. Do this in your own time. Twice more. So on inhale, raise your arms, stretch. On inhale, enjoy the stretch and the opening. Exhale, come back into the starting position. And one more time in your own rhythm of breathing. It's important that your movement follows your pattern of breath. So don't follow what I'm doing. The breathing is the queen and she guides and your movement follows. And one more time. And then when you're finished, take a moment to fix your eyes on a point in front of you on the floor and just observe your breathing. Can you feel your breathing in your belly region right now? A little bulge of your belly when you breathe in, and the belly receding when you breathe out. And then again, start to move as you want to. Do a little stretch. Do what your body wants to do right now. And very often our bodies don't want to sit for 2 hours in front of screens, but we make them. So this is the mind-body connection. And over to Zuzanna now for the first question that you'll answer and discuss in the breakout room.
Yes, thank you very much, Nina. And thanks for this. I also did the exercise myself and immediately felt a little bit better and more energized. So I hope that was how everyone felt as well. And we will now start with the questions. So Naomi also already put the first question in the chat, and you will have it in the breakout rooms. So as a reminder, we will do this in the groups of 2 in the small breakout rooms. And we start with the first part of the work that reconnects. So that's the gratitude for what is. So we are going to focus on what are you grateful for? What do you love in your life and in the world right now? So we are going to say things, some statements that start with I love, I'd love to thank for, I'm grateful for, and so on. And we are going to do that in the breakout rooms. Once again, we have 4 minutes in total, 1-2 minutes for each person. And you just take turns. One person speaks first, and then the second person speaks, and then we come back here for the next part. So if we can do that now, and if anything is unclear, you can, of course, ask questions, and hope that this will be an enriching exchange. And remember about the active listening.
You should all receive a notification to join the breakout rooms again. I have closed all the breakout rooms and participants should be back in 30 seconds.
Thank you, Naomi.
That's great.
Okay, I think everyone should be back in the next few seconds. Okay, everyone is back, Nina. Please go ahead. Is everything okay? I see someone has their hand up.
Yeah, there is a hand up. So in case there are any questions about how to do the exercise, then you can ask them now if you're unclear about something.
No, also questions I do not have. I only wanted to say some words. Well, in the group we have spoken about the question why we are thankful or grateful for what. Maybe in my personal life, I'm thankful that I'm alive.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So we will actually have a round after those 4 questions with your feedback and sharing publicly what you have discussed, because the whole of the 4 questions, they hang together. So they are kind of a coherent, integral experience. And we're just going to do them and afterwards have an exchange. But thank you for your sharing. Any technical understanding questions? Is it clear what you do in the breakout rooms? I guess silence is yes. Okay. Yeah, so Haib, there is a question.
Yeah, basically, can you assign me another partner for like the breakout room? Because previously I was just speaking alone and there was no one else.
Right. That's not so active listening. Yeah.
I will make that change. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and just on that, asking people to please enter the breakout rooms, because when we assign you, it's like some people end up alone because the second person hasn't joined. So that's why it's really important if you just join. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's continue.
Okay. Does everybody know how to join a breakout room? Silence again.
Hello?
Yes.
No, in a breakout room.
You don't know how to join a breakout room and technically?
For anyone who is unclear, a notification should pop up on your screen to say, would you like to join this breakout room? And you click join. We can't manually put you into them. So I hope that helps with the clarification for anyone who's unsure. If you still have problems in the next round, please share in the chat or out loud.
Yeah, it's an adventure for all of us. I think we mentioned that this has never taken place online because it's actually a thing to do in a real group in reality. But we're trying this out. So I asked you for the next exercise, which is the mind-body exercise. Get up if you're sitting and put your feet as far apart as you can. So switch off your camera if you don't want to be seen on Facebook doing a mind body or yoga exercise. So feet wide apart as you can do. And then in this position again, take a bit of a stretch, let your body do what she wants to do right now, because your body knows best. And then take a moment to stand in this position with your feet wide apart. You're standing centered and your weight of your body is distributed evenly on the both feet. And you can feel how your feet touch the ground and how that gives you stability. And with every exhale, you can release any muscular tension that you don't need right now. So exhale, release the tension in your hips, the tension in your shoulders. Put your chin a little closer to your chest so that your neck gets all long. And you can fix your gaze, your eyes on a point on the floor in front of you. This way you're standing even more stable. And with every exhale, release the tension that you do not need right now into the ground. And observe your breathing. And with your next inhale, you raise your arms so that they're horizontal and enjoy the opening this creates. And on exhale, you give yourself a hug. That is, the right hand goes to your left shoulder, the left hand goes to your lower back, your whole body turns in a little twist. Your eyes look over your left shoulder, or they want to look over it. And on your next inhale, you open up again. Enjoy the opening. And on exhale, you do the same. Embrace yourself. Now the left hand goes to the right shoulder. The right hand is on your lower back. Your eyes try to look over your right shoulder. And when you can feel your inhale coming, come back into the center. Open up wide. Enjoy this opening. Exhale, another embrace. Right hand to your left shoulder. Left hand on the lower back. Eyes are trying to look over your shoulder. Inhale, back to the middle. Enjoy the opening. Exhale to the other side. The same movement. And remember, your breath is the queen, so the movement follows the breathing. You follow your own breathing pattern in this movement. And do this 2 more times. To each side. And in your own time, after the last opening up of your arms, and inhale, come back on exhale in a comfortable standing position in your own time. When you have finished, and see if your feet need a little attention, massage them on the floor. They need a bit movement maybe because they have been standing on the floor, carrying the whole weight of your body. And as at the beginning, just let your body do what she wants to do right now. A stretch, a turn, whatever it is. And then take a moment to stand upright in a comfortable position. And with every exhale, release the tension that you don't need right now into the ground. and focus on your breathing. How is your breathing right now? Can you maybe feel a little bulging of your abdomen when you breathe in? And your abdomen, your belly receding a little on exhale. Observe. And then slowly come back into position where you can see the monitor. And the next question, which Zuzanna will introduce you to.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Welcome back, everyone. We are continuing with the process. So we are going to the next question, which is going to be about the honoring of suffering. So it is going to be about your fears, your anxieties, your worries, looking into the future. So think about that and start with looking into the future I am concerned about. I am worried about, I fear about. And we are going to continue that in the breakout rooms again. So you're coming back to the same partner. Hopefully everyone now has a partner to talk about. So let's do that. Once again, we have 4 minutes, 2 minutes per person, and then we will be back going straight into the next part.
I've opened the breakout room, so again, if people see a notification on their screen, if they could click it and join their partner. 1 or 2 people might be different, and that's only to make sure that everyone has someone to speak to.
And the question is also in the chat to make sure that you understand it and that you remember it. Yes. So let's continue.
I have a couple of people who haven't joined the breakout room. If you could click on the notifications. I see a problem. If I'm unable to join the breakout room. Is the notification coming up for you or not? Sahib? Okay. Okay. Zahib, you should receive a new notification. I have 1 person remaining. I have someone on the screen called Dose Sosuga. Can you join your breakout room, if possible? If there's any problems, let me know. Everyone should be returning to the plenary now. We have 20 seconds. Fantastic, Nina. Everyone should be back.
Okay, thank you, Naomi. So we now go from looking into the future I'm concerned about, so from a place of pain and suffering to a place of hope. And Naomi, I see a hand up. Maybe that's a technical question. Or
Yes, I see someone too. The name comes up as Alan Mafere.
Yes, Leah, it's a technical question. I was in a room alone for over like only 30 minutes left. You gave me Tumukunde. So though I had answered the question on a personal perspective, but I don't know whether Tumukunde was really satisfied. I suggest that when they give you a break room, let's enter into the break room early for the time factor.
Absolutely, thank you. I will add an extra minute to the next breakout room. You had 4 people assigned to your room, but I think people struggled to join. But thank you for letting me know.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello,
is everything
Naomi?
okay? Hello?
Yeah. How you doing? I want to contribute.
Pardon?
Okay, so I'm Stanley from Liberia. Thank you for affording the opportunity.
Thank you.
So for the question I just asked, I would think about the future. So for me, my fear is that our activity into the global society is too much and causing a lot of problems for our society today.
Thank you. I'm
So we
struggling to hear you with the connection, but I also do know that Nina has some space and after 2 more questions for everyone to feed back to. Are you okay to wait for maybe another 5 or 10 minutes before you give your feedback or your discussion?
okay, no problem. I'll wait.
Thank you so much. We look forward to hearing it. If you want to share it in the meantime, can you share it in the chat?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, Nina, over to you.
yeah, thank you. So in preparation for the next question, which is about hope, so looking at the future, what I deeply hope for, and Jujana will guide you with this question, I suggest, again, get up and put your feet wide apart on the ground as you did before. But then for the stretching part, think about the mouse and how she shakes when she wakes up from the frozen moment. You remember when the cat threatened the mouse, she was all frozen. Maybe you have observed that already in reality. And then when she wakes up again from this frozen state, what does she do? She shakes. So I suggest, and all of you have your cameras off, so it's really okay, nobody can see you, but take this opportunity to shake. And shaking is really a good thing when you want to get rid of tensions in your body, and mice and other animals do it too. After big stresses, they shake. And after you've done with this preparation for the next practice, you stand again with both of your feet wide apart. And you stand upright. Your body weight is distributed evenly on your 2 feet. And you focus on your feet, on your knees, on your hips, on your shoulders, and with each exhale, you release the tension in the parts of your body, and you give it off to the ground, the earth that carries you. Your chin is taken a little in towards your chest, so your neck is long, and your eyes are fixed on the ground in front of you. And in this position, observe your breathing. And with your next inhale, you raise your right arm and it goes backwards, pointing with your hands upwards to the ceiling, and your head follows the movement. So it's a tension, a certain twist in your body. Exhale, you come back to the position of standing. You come back to the center, eyes fixed on the ground. With your next inhale, you raise your left hand. The palms of your hand faces the ceiling. There's a tension and a twist in your body. Your eyes look towards your left hand. And on exhale, you come back to the center, eyes fixed on the ground. And do this movement in your own breathing rhythm, always to the other side. Inhale, you open up. Exhale, you come back in the middle position, eyes fixed on the ground. Inhale, arm goes backwards, palm is facing to the ceiling, your eyes follow your fingers. Exhale, come back to the middle. And enjoy this little movement in your own time, in your own breathing pattern. Remember, your breath is the queen, and your movement follows your breathing pattern. And once more to each side. And when you have finished in your own time, you stretch a little again. Do what your own body wants to do right now. Before you come to a comfortable standing position, and take a moment to experience the fruit of your practice. How is your breathing right now? Maybe you can observe it and see what it does in your abdominal region, in your belly region. On inhale, is there a bit of a bulging of your abdomen? Maybe on exhale, you can feel how it recedes a little. And take this time to connect to your breathing. Before you move your hands and your feet a little, and you prepare to get in front of the screen again, where Zsuzsanna awaits you with the next question for the breakout room.
That's exactly all right. Thank you very much, Nina, and welcome back everyone again. We are continuing to the next question. So we are moving right now from fears and worries towards hope and also towards action. So this is the new perspective part. So we will think about a new perspective. So we have two little prompts here. The first one is looking at the future. What I deeply hope for is, and then after you said that, after you thought about that, also a part I would like to play in this is. So we are also getting a little bit practical thinking about how do we want to participate in what we hope for, in what we hope to change. And we are going to do that in the breakout rooms again. Hopefully everyone gets a partner. We are getting better at this every round. So yeah, let's get better at it. Let's get hopeful and let's answer this question. So Naomi, if we can go ahead with the breakout rooms for the new perspective right now.
Absolutely. Everyone should have received a breakout room, and the question is in the chat now as well. Okay, it has been another 4 minutes or 5 minutes, so I'm just going to let everyone back in. All participants should return in 30 seconds.
Very good. I can see one question. We are a bit over time.
Yeah, which we expected, to be.
Okay, so we're just gonna keep course, or should we leave the last exercise and question out and go to the plenary?
Should we go ahead with that, and we can always share the final
Yes.
question with everyone in the feedback form and
Yeah.
on a thank you email, and then that will be a lovely chance for everyone to interact again
I think
after
we
this
can do
event.
that.
My
Yeah.
advice is that to do a little bit of that. It is interesting, this last exercise. Practical experience of mind-body connection.
Yeah, before like leaving this session or ending this session, I would like sincerely, accept my gratitude. Like all of these mindful exercises, they are way much more relaxing after a hectic day. So I'm planning to add these things to my daily routine now.
Beautiful. Okay.
We
So
are not ending yet. We still have a few minutes, right?
So I suggest we just end this with one more mind-body exercise, and then we go into an exchange so that we come together as a group and you share what your experiences are. Jojana, how does that sound? It would be about 10 more minutes.
We should probably ask people in the room, like if they are fine staying 10 minutes after the time. Would everyone be fine with that? You can, like, I don't know, put a thumbs up or anything and to let us know. Okay, I see a yes. Okay. Okay, I think we can do it. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Whoever does not have the time to be with us, sorry for the delay. Very happy to have you had as a participant. For the others who want to stay for the exchange about these questions and for one more mind-body exercise, you're welcome. And the last mind-body exercise is really about your heart space and your intentions for the future even. And I invite you to either do it sitting down or standing up, whatever you like best. And if you're standing up, you're standing in a comfortable position. If you're sitting on the edge of your seat so that you can sit upright and your feet are hip wide apart. Your feet touch the ground. And in the beginning, you do little movements just to see what does your body want to do right now. And the mind-body practices are about listening, learning to listen to your body and to your mind and to your emotions. So what does your body want to do right now? Maybe small movements. And then you focus your gaze, your eyes on the point on the ground in front of you so that your chin is close to your chest. You release all tension you don't need right now with exhale. And you give off the weight of your body to your feet and to the earth that is carrying you. And relax your shoulders, your hips. The knees are relaxed and the feet are on the ground with your weight distributed evenly. And enjoy being in this position of being upright if you're standing and upright if you're sitting. And focus on your breathing in your abdomen, in your abdominal area. What is your breathing pattern like right now? Is it quick? Or is it calm? And then with your next inhale, you raise both of your hands and you point your fingers to your heart region, and there your outer hands meet. You put the outside of your hands together, and then you raise your arms up in the sky on inhale. On exhale, you come back, your fingers point to your heart region, and you let your arms go down and be parallel to your body on exhale. Inhale again, arms raised, fingers pointing to the heart regions, the hands touch on the outside like this. On inhale, you raise your arms, you feel the stretch. On exhale, your arms come back, your fingertips touch the heart region, and then you come back to the starting position with arms hanging relaxed next to your body. Do this in your own rhythm. Inhale, pointing fingers to the heart region, hands join the outside, which creates a stretch and a tension for your shoulders. Exhale, back, pointing to the heart region and having a relaxed position. Once more in your own breathing rhythm. And when you're done, again, give your feet maybe a little massage. That means you push your toes to the ground. Maybe your feet need a bit of attention now after these 2 hours of being focused on the mind, on the eyes. And after the small massage of the feet, get back to be ready for our final exchange in front of the screen with our virtual community and group. And you can see the questions we're interested in here on the slide. And Naomi, I suggest to do it right in the plenary because we don't have that much time. And Zsuzsanna, would you like to ask the questions or should I go?
It doesn't really matter, I guess. We can see them, but I can go ahead and ask them. And I was just going to suggest exactly that we focus on this last part, maybe all together instead of going into the breakout rooms again. So that sounds perfect for me. So as you can see, this is a little bit about a reflection right now, and to reflect about everything that we have discussed before. It's been a lot of things, but we hope that it has been helpful and enriching for all of you, and that you'll take this forward to your further life and work and daily experiences. So some of the questions here: what was helpful for you? And what could be helpful for your communities? So this is also about taking it to your communities. And how could you take these experiences further and adapt them to your personal own situation? So this is what we are focusing on right now, and we can do it all together with everyone here. So, and Nina, you are welcome to continue the moderation if you want. We'll see. But yeah, just for everyone to share together.
Yeah, thank you, Zsuzsanna. This is the sharing part now, like for around 5 to 10 minutes. And as I said in the beginning, I'm really interested in hearing about your contributions. So, Alan Mujire, I hope that I didn't say it too badly.
Yes, it is. By the way, you pronounced it better, by the way. I'm really grateful to you, Nina, Leah, and all other fellow participants to meet you all in this new year and within this platform and on this platform. The first question is, what was helpful for you? I'll start with the exercise. The exercise, I really feel my body has relaxed and like my mind is at peace. That is one. The other second part is sharing different ideas with my fellow participants. That is two. And then the lessons given to us on the eco-anxiety, that is knowledge shared. It improves on the understanding and it gives a wider scope on what I knew about mental health. And then the second question was, what could be helpful for your communities? I feel like for us, we do climate parental mentorships where we sit the parents in the group and then we take them through a series of sessions. Like we have 10 sessions. So I feel they shouldn't be more of theory. They should be more practical, but even within the theory, we should give them time to relax. Maybe we can do that yoga for them and they can continue, or it can become a session in our manual so that they can also do it in their homes with their parents. And then how could you take these experiences furthermore? I think adaptation is including yoga session in our manual because we have 10 sessions. Who you are as a caregiver, responsive caregiving, and so forth. So we can add a yoga session in our manual. That is what I have taken home.
Wow. Thank you so much. That sounds amazing. Thank you, Alan. Is there anybody? Thank you. Anybody else who would like to share also about your experiences of today in the breakout rooms? General sharing.
Yeah, basically, I would like to share my experience. See, in the breakout rooms, so I had like three different, like partners. So they had their different experiences, what they are doing in their community. I got to share like my experiences that what I suffered. So, like it's like we're now making a change on the global level, not just, and one thing was a bit more relaxing for me that it's not just us who are suffering, or it's not just us who want like who needs this change. So everyone needs this change in terms of like these well-being exercises. So as a teacher, like we were working like on the SDGs and for specifically for well-being. So like adding these exercises like before the classes or by and when the day is ending in the school, it will be more relaxing for the students and the teachers as well. Like after a hectic day after school and that routine, like you're taking classes, then you're like doing the classwork and you're doing the different activities. So I think well-being before like beginning the classes and at the end of the session or at the end of the school day is like it will be more relaxing for like the whole school. And definitely this experience is like the techniques or the things that I've learned from you from like the breakout rooms. So like we can implement these things on a global level, and we can work as a community rather than working as like a you can say a separate entity or like a separate individual. We can work as a global change maker.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Zohaib, I hope I expressed that right, the name?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Wonderful. Is there another feedback, maybe also specifically on, because yoga is one way to combine mind and body. Maybe you have from where you are, where you live, from your friends, colleagues, you have other ways that would be very interesting to hear.
Yeah, basically, as I shared my experience in the beginning. So, we started working on the SDGs in our school. So, we actually, picked up SDG 3, that was good health and well-being. So what we used to do, like before starting the school day, we used to take our students outside. They used to sit in the sun. They used to, talk to each other like, okay, what are my expectations for this day? What we're going to do? They used to, like close their eyes for like a few seconds, and they used to just, that inhale that nature's, that fresh air, and, just enjoy the environment and forget about everything what is going to happen for that day. And we used to do the same thing like when we used to like end the school day, and students used to be more, and even as a teacher I was really relaxed. Okay, last 5 minutes are like for just to release that whole tension, whatever we have done for this day. Like, being a teacher is a hectic thing, taking classes and managing everything. So just sitting outside in the sun, or in the fresh air, and just enjoying the nature and not doing anything, that actually, helps you to heal.
Thank you very much. Nature connection is something that is super important. And thank you for this contribution. Yeah. Somebody else has something from his or her own country, or a practice you do, which you would like to share?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Stanley calling from Liberia. So I want to share my own experience. I want to say thank you for you bringing us on this training, and I really appreciate it a lot. The exercise also teach me all the moral lesson there. On exercise, we don't need to do too much force, but the way you carry on your body, shake it, help you to move smooth and faster without you feeling pain. And then from that, and also learn about togetherness. In this group, they talk about leadership, doing how to be a leader. So that was just practical example on how we can discuss the power of our global world, our hazard problem, and how to minimize all of the risks that are involved into it, our climate. So we had to avoid that through a lot of different means. Our human activity on the earth is what causing the global warming, and we had to mitigate that challenges. So how can we mitigate the challenges? Is by all informing all of our equipment operator on how to handle the diverse oxygen from the carbon. So if we can handle the carbon very easy way, it will help our emission for it to not go too much harder. So you see, we're having a problem on the climate change now because the diverse activity we do on IFS is causing that risk too much. Rain is falling currently in Liberia, why this time is sort of be a very dry season for us. But we're experiencing a lot of rain here. So that's a change for all. Yeah, at this
Yeah. Stanley, where are you? Just so we can know where you are.
I'm in Liberia. I'm a Liberian.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for this contribution, Stanley. Looking at the time, I think we need to wrap it up out of respect to everyone, because it was a very good experience to have you all of you here. But I'm always trying to be very respectful of time, and you have given a lot of time, and I appreciate that a lot. And I would like to thank Rosanna and Naomi for hosting and organizing this. And thanks to Open Dialogues International for giving us a chance to connect across so many cultures and not only have a Western perspective on eco-anxiety, but bring many people together. Rosanna, I hand over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Nina. And I just really wanted to share what you have just shared. Very much grateful to everybody for being here and to contributing your time and your perspective and your energy and everything. And I really feel amazing right now after having this exchange with you. And thank you so much to you, Nina, for coming, for accepting our invitation, and for facilitating this beautiful exchange, which I hope has been very inspiring for people here, just the way it was inspiring for me when I first saw it in Brussels, and then wanted to do it with you again. And I'm very happy that it actually happened. So yeah, I hope people had a great experience, even though it was online with some of the troubles, but I think it still went well, and hopefully we can continue engaging in the dialogue, because this is what we all do here. So yeah, I will not speak any longer. As you said, we are over time, but it was amazing, and thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. So maybe a gesture of saying goodbye to each other. Thank you to Naomi. I can't see you right now, but
I think
Nina.
Naomi is, yeah, she's still here. If you want to finish officially, Naomi, or say anything, you can.
Everyone has said
Go
many things. Thank you to both Nina and Susanna, but also thank you to all of our participants. As they said, we also had someone new to ODIF. We had Olivia here also on the call helping out. So thank you as well to Olivia for all of your technical support. I'll be sending around a thank you email after the weekend, probably with a couple of things to say thank you, and everyone's certificates as well. And then we should, by the end of next week, get you both Nina's slides and also some of her further material that she's referenced during this call, a feedback form, and also a summary of the event written up. And that will be translated into both French and Spanish to help people follow up from this event if they missed any part of it. And of course, we will upload our recording. It's now going on to our new YouTube channel because Facebook has changed its terms and conditions, but we will share a link with you guys in that email later next week with where to find that. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. We really appreciate it. Follow us on social media and our mailing list if you want further updates. And hopefully see you next month for our February DialogueON. Have a lovely rest of your day, evening, night, wherever it is for you. And goodbye, everyone. Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. And if you want to contact us, you can always do it. And yeah, see you soon again. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It was very interesting. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.